a group of elder statesmen and leaders of sociocultural platforms in southern Nigeria have slammed a 50 billion naira suit against President Muhammadu Buhari before the Abuja division of the Federal High Court over alleged lopsided appointments. In the suit filed by their counsel, Chief Mike Ozekume, SAN, the group led by 16 elders alleged that since the inception of his administration in 2015, President Buhari's appointment contravened the provisions of the 1999 Constitution and the Federal Character Principle. The elders listed in the suit marked FHC/ABJ/CS/595/2020 include Chief Edwin Clark, Chief Ruben Fashoranti, Dr. John Nnaya Nwodo, Dr. Pogu Bitus, Chief Ayo Adebanjo, Alawi Bozimo, Mrs. Sarah Doketri, Chief Chukwuemeka Ezife, and Ekomondo Idoksti Nkanga. Others are Senator Kuforola Bukno Akirele, Professor Julie Umukoro, Elder Stephen Bangoji, Alhaji Tijani Babatunde, Mrs. Rose Obuo Foribo, Mr. Adakole Ijogi, and Dr. Charles Nwa Kaiku. The plaintiffs further alleged that the southern region has been deliberately marginalized by the President Buhari-led government. They are praying the court to, among other things, determine whether it was not reckless and adverse to the interests of Nigeria for President Buhari to obtain a loan facility from the Islamic Development Bank, African Development Bank, the World Bank, China, Japan, and Germany amounting to $22.7 billion for infrastructural development, only to allocate the bulk of the fund to the northern region. They are seeking a declaration that the loan facility purportedly for infrastructural development, wherein less than 1% of the amount is to be allocated to the southeast zone of Nigeria for specific infrastructural development, violates Section 16, 1, AB and 16, 2 ABC of the 1999 Constitution as amended, as well as a declaration that first defendant's procurement of any loan which would increase Nigeria's outstanding debt by up to 30% of its GDP, or which would increase its interest payments above 50% of government revenue, is unconstitutional. Aside from President Buhari, also listed as second to fourth defendants in the matter are the Attorney General of the Federation, Clerk of National Assembly, and the Federal Character Commission. Specifically, the plaintiffs in the suit they filed through a consortium of lawyers comprising of 10 senior advocates of Nigeria led by Chief Solomon Asemota, SAN, and Chief Mike Ozekume, SAN, and further praying the court to determine whether the power to appoint designated public officers, including permanent secretaries, principal representatives of Nigeria abroad, which is vested in the first defendant, has been lawfully exercised by him since the inception of his administration from 2015 to date, and whether his actions are in breach of sections 171, 5, 814, subsection 3 and 4 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, whether the power to appoint Nigeria's armed service chiefs, other commanders, or top officials of the respective armed forces higher and high command general staff, namely the Chief of Defense Staff, CDC, CDS, Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Naval Staff, and Chief of Air Force Staff. The other statutorily established Nigerian National Security Agencies or services, namely the Inspector General of the Nigerian Police, the Directors General, the State Security Service, National Intelligence Agency, and the Defense Intelligence Agency, the S of National Security Associated Federal Government establishments, namely the Nigerian Civil Defense and Security Corps, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the Nigerian Custom and Excise Service, the Nigerian Immigration Service, the Nigerian Correctional Service, the National Emergency Management Authority, the National Youth Service Corps, the National Security Advisor, the Minister of Defense, Interior, Police, and the respective national security ministries, permanent secretaries, which is vested in the first defendant, has been lawfully exercised by the first defendant since the inception of his administration, and whether these appointments are in compliance with 81 of 2, 803, 804 of 3, 4, 808,217 of 3 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. They urged the court to award 50 billion naira against the defendants to represent punitive, aggravated, and exemplary damages to the constituents of the plaintiffs for the illegal, wrongfully discriminatory, and unconstitutional acts committed by the first defendants against the people of the plaintiffs' states and geopolitical zones. Meanwhile, Justice Okon Abang has fixed July 10th to hear the case, even as he directed Chief Ozekome SAN, who represented the plaintiffs on Monday, to serve the court processes on all the defendants. Okay. 50 billion naira. Southern leaders slam 50 billion naira suit against Buhari, Malami over alleged marginalization. I don't know whether you think this thing is right in the first place, whether that will solve the problem. So the question now is that if they win the case in court and the 50 billion naira is being paid, so then what happens? That means he will continue with what he's doing, meaning that he's going to be doing what he will continue to do, what he has in mind to do. I don't know whether you guys think, you feel that this is the best way to go about this whole thing, whether it's going to yield a positive result in the first place. Of course, they always say there are many ways to kill rat without shedding his blood. Do you think this is the way, this whole thing will be corrected? I don't think maybe an impeachment would have been the best. Of course, we know the lawmakers we have, they will not even go near them. So that is my opinion, though. And these people, they are elderly people, they are in their 90 something, 80 something, and all of that. When I just saw their names, when I heard their names, I would just laugh and say, these old people, well, that's good. Because these old people, of course, what do you want to do to them? But the youth that are supposed to be on their feet doing the right thing, because these people, any moment from now, even if they stay 120, 130, the numbers of years they are going to stay, it's not going to be up to what they have spent in their life, and they are still active. They are still doing all of these things. But what do we say about the youth? The youth are just doing their own thing. They don't care. Of course, the youth are even discouraged with all the things happening, because even if it's like talk from now to eternity, nothing will happen. I think that's the attitude everybody is just putting up. That's my opinion, though. You might have your opinion, a different opinion concerning this. Someone says you have begun a roadmap that will determine the fate of Nigeria. Checkmate the excesses of Buharism and Buharization spreading like a wildfire across the country to a poignant detriment of the Southerners. You people are wasting your time. Why not sue and pursue vigorously the breaking of Nigeria? The flesh and bone of Nigeria has been eaten by the Fulani man. Please, this should be jointly fought, for one man can't destroy the beautiful country God has given us. May God help all those that are fighting for the justice, this justice. So don't you think about these things when you voted him for second tenure? Okay, you guys just waking up to the realization on ground, or the realities on ground. You are just waking up to the realities on ground. Everybody with their own opinion. They are just waking up, but some people are not even ready to wake up. I think they themselves, they are even waking up now, but you see that a lot of people are still sleeping, but they themselves, they've woken up, but majority of people are still sleeping. They are still even slump, they are still in their slumber, they can't even wake up. But these people have just waken up. Some people are not even ready to wake up. They just like, okay, let me continue with my sleep. Different people with different opinion. But like me, I just believe that this thing, this case can just be there till he finishes his tenure. The way this judiciary works in this country. That's my opinion anyway. But let's see how it goes, because it shows that some people are somewhere are not really happy with what is happening, because everybody cannot just face the same direction? Leave your comments below and let's have your take.